Hey guys, welcome back to Sports with Mono and Mono. I'm Jim. I'm here with Steve.
Good morning, everybody, on a beautiful Sunday morning.
December 13th, 2020.
Yes.
Rapidly trying to put 2020 in the rearview mirror. It's been a difficult year.
Yep, the elves are hard at work with their face masks on, building toys.
I watched Elf last night. It's
You bet?
brilliant. One of the top 5 Christmas movies of all time.
Okay.
Gotta watch.
I took a visit to Misfit Island last night. Got to visit the troops. You know, the Jack in the Box, one of the characters looks like James Carville.
Wow, that's obscure.
Totally.
What was it? Joe in the Box or something? I think whatever.
Looks
it was.
exactly like James Carville next time you see it.
That's funny. But we're rapidly approaching. Just seems like Thanksgiving was last week, and
my
now it's
God.
Christmas. I think they should space those apart a little bit more.
The Thanksgiving meal you met, it's just digesting now.
Exactly. Takes a month and a half for the stuffing to go away.
Right?
But welcome back, everybody. There's a couple things I wanted to bring up because this is Sports with Mono and Mono, and what that means is my name's on the label and Steve's name's on the label.
My name is first, by the way, Mono.
And the reason I'm bringing this up because we're partners in this venture.
We are.
Right? But I did watch the Michael Kay show the other day, and it was pretty funny.
I'm a fan.
I
You're
know
not.
you are more
I hate
than-
Peter Rosenberg.
Exactly.
But I'm a fan of LaGreca and Michael Kay.
But the reason I'm bringing this up, and listen, I would love to hear from Michael Kay. Give an up and coming team a
a
shot. at
Fordham
the big
graduate
time.
like our brother Tom and our niece Caroline. We
Right.
got 2 Fordham grads in our family.
Right, but here's the reason I wanted to bring this up. What's the show called? The Michael Kay Show, right?
Right.
And it was LaGreca saying, "Listen, I'm basically your bag man. Your name's on the door, our name's not. Blah blah blah." So I immediately thought of us and said, "But this is a partnership, right? 50% for you, 50% for me." But Michael Kay, he's a very smart guy.
Absolutely.
He was playing this whole, yeah, my name's on the door, but I got problems, more than you do, and so forth. You guys get to go home.
Right.
But it was funny, and
You
I was
don't see
thinking
the
about our
behind the
show.
scenes stuff that I got to go through.
Right.
But he makes a pretty good dollar. But it earns every penny of it.
And I hope one of our fans who knows Michael Kay can get this to them and say, hey, let's have the Monahan brothers on the show.
I
They
think
they
Michael-
know a lot about
I
sports.
think Michael Kay's the type of guy that would be open to it.
Okay.
Especially the fact that you raised your family in Ramsey and his uncle Danny Aiello was a Ramsey resident.
I've met Danny Aiello before.
Right, but my point is there's, an in there, if
Yeah,
you will.
definitely.
Like he would take a flyer.
But listen, like I said, congratulations to Michael Kay. He's doing great, and he's making tons of dough. And
You know what he wanted to be when he was
the
a
Michael
kid?
Kay show on Yes is pretty awesome.
It's outstanding.
Talking about
You know what he wanted to be when he was growing up?
What?
The New York Yankees broadcaster.
dream fulfilled. huh?
Totally, man.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
But I just wanted to bring that up, and like I said, Steve and I are real happy to be with you guys week after week. And I did want to give a shout out before we get underway, Steve, to Tony. She's back. Tony Cobbs from out in Washington State, 49ers fan, and welcome back, Tony. We missed you.
Hi, Tony. Thank you for listening, and so happy that you're back.
Yep, welcome back. And of course, our first segment sponsored by Coriano Trucking, who, as we've spoken about in the past, are relocating their business to upstate New York. But if you need, have moving needs, you could still call him. This guy will do anything.
Where's he moving to? A COVID-free environment
It's
upstate?
supposed to be,
He's getting
right.
away from COVID here, and
It hasn't infiltrated the
Right, it's the only-
the mobile home community.
it's the only spot in the country without COVID. We're kidding, guy. Always thank you for your support.
You bet. And good luck on your move. Steve, let's talk about college football because yesterday was pretty exciting.
Mac Jones won the Heisman Trophy yesterday.
You know what? That's a good point, and I'd love to talk about this. I think Kyle Trask didn't win the Heisman Trophy because of a defensive play last night in the Florida LSU game.
That's part of the process.
It was unbelievable. It was all groomed for him to win it, and the guy, did a unsportsmanlike conduct, threw a shoe. Who throws a shoe? I mean, really?
Right.
It's my Austin Powers.
You know, every football game I've coached, I've always told my guys, listen, in a big spot, don't throw your shoe out on the field to get a
That's the
misconduct
first
penalty.
last night, but it was big, and LSU upset Florida last night, so that knocks them out of the.
We talked
the
about
mix.
LSU late. Coach Ed Orderon, that LSU put a self-imposed one-year bowl ban on the program to stem from any NCAA infractions.
Basically, to bury all the other crap.
That's it. You know, this is a signature win for the program. This, hey, big upset, no question.
It was.
I saw a thing on Kyle Trask during the week.
Because before this weekend, he was the front runner to win the Heisman Trophy.
But in high school, I didn't know this. He didn't start until like his senior year. You know, his teammate was DeAndre King.
De'Aaron King.
De'Aaron King. Or,
Miami, who got trounced by North Carolina.
Right. The point is, Kyle Trask, if you look at him, he's what, 6'5", 240.
Yeah, prototype Florida quarterback.
Looks like George Clooney type of thing, like the prototypical stud quarterback.
Right.
And it's one of those days where you had to win that big game, and
well, Mac Jones.
Mac Jones is going to win the Heisman. In my opinion, I would vote for Mac Jones.
But Najee Harris kind of took the limelight yesterday in Alabama.
I get it.
I think he tied for the most touchdowns in Alabama history.
Behind Major Ogilvy.
I'm going to guess Bobby Humphrey, somebody like that, maybe.
Could be.
Yeah.
The only reason I bring up Major Ogilvy because I think that's one of my all-time favorite
names.
college names.
Totally.
Number 42 for the Alabama Crimson Tide, and he was the running back. We've referenced, I don't know, a month or two ago about Alabama, Penn State in '78. We watched that game.
Oh, my God.
Chuck Fusina was the quarterback for Penn State.
Number 14.
Alabama stuffs Penn State on the 1 yard line
Yep.
to basically win the game. If I remember correctly, I think Marty Lyons was on the Alabama defensive line in that game.
I think you're right.
Right?
I
Who
think
became,
you're right.
a 48-year veteran of the New York Jets type of thing.
Yeah, still in the booth.
But I'll never forget that game.
There was thousands of those.
Jeff Rutledge was the quarterback for Alabama in that game.
That's right.
Ex-Giant quarterback.
Future Super Bowl winning quarterback.
You are correct, sir.
But yeah, lots going on. But we did miss not seeing the Ohio State-Michigan game, obviously.
Well, I'm glad we brought this up because I've been wanting to talk about it. So,
first time in 100.
well, listen, we've been talking about it for months on the show. We can't wait. We talked about the press conference. Ryan Day, Ohio State's going to lay 100, etc. Michigan gets off to this ridiculous start.
Yep.
Harbaugh. Is there COVID issues in Michigan? Yes. I mean, we cannot deny that.
Right.
However, what is your first impression when we heard the news?
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised. But instead of the normal thing of saying, well, it's COVID, the safety of the players, we're sports junkies, especially this game, the game, if you will.
The game.
My first impression was Harbaugh is like,
Phew.
no, he's like intentionally wants to screw Ryan Day because if they didn't play as of a week ago and Ohio State didn't get to that 6-game threshold,
that's right.
This was Harbaugh sticking it up.
But of course, the Big Ten comes through and says, we're going to change.
They had a big meeting that lasted 2 minutes. All right, let's take a roll call. Yeah, okay, they can only play 5 games.
Yeah, they should get in. Yeah,
okay,
they should get in.
Motion passed.
Exactly.
But Ohio State, I think, deserves. I mean, everybody, even though they played 5 games,
that's what you want.
We all know Ohio State is one of the top 4 teams.
Exactly, and that's what you want in the playoffs.
Yeah, which makes
the
sense.
Alabamas, the Notre Dames, the Clemson. That's the 4.
So it most likely will be Alabama versus Ohio State and Notre Dame, Clemson.
Yep.
Now, actually, I guess Notre Dame is going to play Clemson 3 times. ACC championship, and if those 4 are in the playoffs, most likely Notre Dame will be 2 and Clemson will be 3.
Sounds
right?
like a possibility, yeah. Holy shit.
Could be a trifle. Ali Frazier 1, 2, and 3.
Got to watch all of them to
Right?
say I watched them,
Yeah.
But listen, it was awesome. Yesterday, the first time since 1943, the Army-Navy game was played at West Point.
Yeah, how cool is that?
Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Mikey Stadium, and the
Totally.
only people that were there were the cadets and the midshipmen, and it was just we love the
We could have
the pomp and
driven. We could have
circumstance
driven
of it
up
all.
and got on the throwway, and there would have been helicopters, tanks.
Where are you going?
Howitzers.
I want to go to the game.
Hi,
Yeah.
sir. How do I get to Mikey Stadium? Oh, it's closed to the general public, right?
And because
But how cool is that?
West Point's one of the most beautiful places.
Right.
On
You
the
and I have
planet.
gone to games. It is one of for the general audience who has never seen West Point.
It's majestic.
It's a great word, majestic. It really is.
It really
It's
is.
a fantastic day where you have to get there
Yep.
7, 8 in the morning
Yep.
and just soak into campus and
But it was the COVID thing, so you couldn't just literally do that.
No,
you,
but
you
that's-
can't even get up there. But it was a great game. 15-0, Army wins.
Yeah.
First time since 1969.
did they steal the goat?
no. Brady Bunch episode.
Nah, but the goat is Navy.
Of
You
course.
know the hijinks between Army and Navy, and
You can't steal it during COVID.
I think that
That's
is so cool. So that the guy in charge of Annapolis has to talk to the general at West Point. What's it going to take to get my goat back?
Where they gonna get to, General? Box of Cubans?
Totally, absolutely.
But it was awesome, right? Literally the first time Army has shut out Navy since 1969.
69. Good.
That's quite a long time.
Because my boy Roger was 63. I was getting nervous that you were going to
no.
say
He had nothing to do
Roger
with that.
Staubach era.
But the pomp and circumstances, I'm so glad that the Army-Navy game went off.
I'm
It's
very
unbelievable.
happy that Army won because listen, they've been down for 20 freaking years against Navy,
And
and payback's a bitch.
here's how I would describe watching the game. It's the most exciting, boring football game you could be.
I think they're going to run on this play.
Right, but you know what I mean? All it is they just run it all day long. There must have been not even 10 passes in the game. But that's why I say it was exciting,
Oh, absolutely.
you know. And
For us, it's one of the greatest
there was a goal.
sporting events out there.
Army had a goal line stand and stopped Navy on the one, and it was debatable. The guy they could have ruled it a touchdown at the pylon kind of thing.
Yeah.
Ruled that he didn't get in, his knee was down, and 4 plays later, Army stuffed him.
What did Mike Pereira say?
Right, with
Nah.
Gino Blondetto or whatever his name
Dean
is.
Blondetto.
I know what it is.
Blandino. Dean, what do you think? Oh, shut up.
Listen, while we're still talking about college football, what'd you think? Boston College opt out of the rest of the season. What's your thought on that? Due to
Again,
mental and physical and emotional distress.
Again, I didn't go to Boston College. I went to Boston University, but Boston College was basically right up the road. I
not helpful.
I understand the mentality of
I have no problem with it either.
We're St. Joseph Regional High School graduates out of Montvale, New Jersey. Boston College is a Catholic school.
Right.
I get the mentality, so I'm not surprised.
I don't have any problem with it. To be
I don't
quite honest
either
with
do
you.
I. I mean, it's not
They're
like,
like, do we want to go home for Christmas and see our families we haven't seen in 6 months?
All right, boys, I got bad news. We're gonna blow off the
Right.
the Pool and Weed Eater Bowl versus
Right.
Arkansas State or something.
Well, listen.
Makes sense.
But stay with us for the next couple of weeks with college football. There's a lot of big football games. It's going to be exciting. College football's been great. Actually, they got through it.
Yeah.
Rutgers won their last game. I just wanted to give a shout out
Yeah.
to Greg Schiano and
Yeah,
Nunzio
Nunzio
Campanelli and
Augie.
Augie Hoffman.
Listen, I think Rutgers this year, but I think it's a good sign.
3 wins.
That's what I said. I said this last week. They're being competitive, and we're talking Big Ten.
I'm with you.
Like I said last week, it's not
told you,
against.
but they gotta be
It's not against
competitive.
Howard. It's not against Townsend State.
Right.
Right. I think it's trending very well, and I would imagine their recruiting class this year is going to be outstanding.
Well, I wanted
And
to bring it
Schiano
up.
really covers the country. He gets a lot of talent out of Florida for whatever
Yes,
reason.
he does.
But,
But now with Augie and Nunzio,
yeah.
these guys,
I think
they can
it-
keep kids
I-
home. That's the mission.
Let's
right?
hope the COVID goes away so you and I can go see Anthony Dellarina and Ted Giandana, 2 of our loyal listeners.
Had a great day going to a Rutgers game.
Every year we're going to do that.
Excellent. But that's college football, so let's stay tuned. Let's stick with football, Steve. Let's move to the NFL. Right? A couple of things. all of a sudden, from today to 6 weeks ago, the Giants were, 1-5, and now they've won, got to the record of 5-7 atop the NFC East.
But it's not like let's be real. Their last victory,
Agreed.
Monday night on the road at Seattle. Correct?
It was Sunday, but yeah.
Whatever,
Sunday.
The quarterback was Colt McCoy.
Colt McCoy.
What are the chances that the New York Giants are beating the Seattle Seahawks? Not good.
I thought the chances were 0,
0.
to be quite honest.
Hence your point, a lock. There is no lock.
Exactly.
So the point is, you got to tip your hat to the New York Giants. They come into Seattle and beat Seattle. Russell Wilson. And they're 5-7. Is that a joke? Well, you know what?
Yeah.
They're 5-7. They're leading the division.
Okay.
So there's a lot to talk about in the NFC East.
Yeah. But, listen, I think Daniel Jones is going to play for the Giants.
Is he?
Yeah, he's going to play.
Jim Carrey look-alike?
He's kind of a tough kid. Jim Carrey look alike?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I didn't see that. But I like it. Listen, I told you guys from the get-go, I like Jones. I like the way he's maturing. He's a tough kid, and he's going to play today. But they're playing Kyler Murray, who's a very, very difficult guy to catch. Right? I mean, so this game, I'm going to say, the Giants are home, and they're on such a roll. I think they could eke this out, but Kyler Murray's a player to be concerned about. He's fast, and he can throw the football.
Back to the Jim Carrey look-alike, I could march 10 people in here if I call them, and they would say, yeah, there's resemblance.
I haven't seen it at all, actually.
Next time you look at them,
All right.
it's one of those things.
But listen, as far as the NFL goes, look, Pittsburgh finally lost, right? Larry Zonka had his champagne.
I wanted to bring that up. No, but I said that.
I knew you were going to bring it up.
No, but again, I made the comment that they were 10-0. But were they a dominant 10-0 by where, you'd like, this is a special team? No. And in fact, I think one of my picks, before we even get there, I'll even spoil it now. I love Buffalo at home. 2.5. I think Pittsburgh loses 2 in a row.
That's
I think
one of my locks tonight.
I think they come back to earth. Whatever, meaning they're still going to finish 12-4, maybe at worst, or something like that. But
And I think I agree with you, but I actually talked to one of our Buffalo Bills fans, Tom Kramer, and I correspond with Mike Burns, another big Buffalo Bills fan.
Right.
I said they're good and it's exciting, and I'm happy to see the Bills, because I told you I used to go to a lot of Bills games when I was in college, right? But they're not going to beat Kansas City, and they're not going to beat Pittsburgh in the playoffs.
I don't know about that.
They may win this week.
I don't know about that.
Even if they beat them this week, they're not going to beat them a second time in the playoffs. So
I don't think they'll beat Kansas City in
I
the
told my
playoffs.
Buffalo Bills fans, don't book your Super Bowl tickets yet.
I
because-
disagree. I actually think Buffalo can beat the Pittsburgh in the playoffs. I do. I think they had
To what, face Kansas City in the championship game?
Yeah, in Kansas City, obviously. Right. But my point is, I think Buffalo had their swoon, if you will. What's it now? Maybe 5 weeks where they, Tennessee beat them up pretty good about 4 weeks ago.
And they lost on the Hail Murray and
right.
all that
So
kind of stuff.
they've had those moments, but I think we've talked about it. They're young and talented, and they got the talent.
Yep.
So I don't discount that they can be an upset special in the playoffs.
Hey, listen, I feel somewhat vindicated. I told my Buffalo Bills fans when they drafted Josh Allen, these guys are all on the fence. Oh, I think it was a terrible pick, blah, blah, blah. I go, you got a good quarterback in the future, The Joe Ferguson of the 21st century.
I watched every game of Josh Allen at Wyoming. What, are you kidding me?
Seen him play enough,
Yeah.
believe me. But he's living up to expectations.
No,
he's leading that team.
I do. I say that Josh Allen of the quarterback class
Yep.
doing very well.
So Kramer and Bernie, listen, like I said, we both think the Buffalo Bills can beat the Steelers tonight, but I just don't see them beating them in the playoffs. That's just that's one mono's opinion.
We'll cross that bridge when and if we get there.
We'll get to it. And listen, here's my other pick of the week. I got to think Tom Brady and Tampa Bay. They need this game because the NFL wants Tom Brady to make the playoffs, and if they don't win tonight, there's a chance they may not get into the playoffs.
They get it.
So I'm just saying. And Minnesota, I mean, 1 week they're this, they're that. They pull it out. Kirk Cousins. I like Kirk Cousins, but you know,
Minnesota's going to bring out Chuck Foreman.
Who do you like in that
out of
game?
retirement tonight?
God, he was one of our favorites,
totally.
wasn't he?
And then
Awesome.
they'll bring back Wally Hilgenberger at linebacker.
It was just Hilgenberg,
I
not
know.
a burger.
I know.
And my other game is San Francisco over the Washington football team. I
Why?
love this Alex
Why?
Smith story. I
No,
just
but
don't
why?
think they're
Why
that
would you
good.
think San Francisco? If you love the Alex Smith story,
Because they looked really good and competitive against Buffalo. And this kid Mullins, he's not the most glamorous looking kid, but he gets the job done. They got some talent on San Francisco, so that's my other pick over the Washington
Really?
football team.
But I think
Giants win, Redskins lose, top of the NFC East.
People, did you hear the Freudian slip? Thank you. He said Redskins.
I Scooby-Doo it. You know, blue, blue, blue.
Totally.
Going backwards.
Doodaloo, doodaloo, doodaloo.
But anyway, so those are
My other
NFL
pick,
picks.
my other pick, I gave him my first one, is always anybody playing the Jets.
Yeah.
Now the Jets are going to Seattle, so the Giants just went to Seattle. Okay,
Russell Wilson's not going to lose to the
I'm
Jets.
not
in
saying
Seattle.
back-to-back New York wins here, and you know, again, unfortunately, the New York Jets had to fire Greg Williams after a
horrendous defensive
oh
call.
my God.
Come on. I mean,
Well, I mean, Williams hated Gase. Gase hated Williams. They've already.
okay, but if you're going to
But
run
Gase is the head coach, and he gets fired. But if you, I don't know if you saw this stat. It was anonymous. It was of 250 plays since 70 something. In that situation,
they run an all-out blitz, blah, blah, blah.
no team has ever ran like blitz more than six, something along those lines.
But don't you blame the corner who lets the guy get past him
He's
for the
a rookie.
pass?
And
And if you're rushing 10 guys, you should get the quarterback. I mean, I don't
Henry
blame Williams
Ruggs
for that.
We know all about Henry Ruggs. He was a first round draft pick out of
Lightning
Alabama.
fast. Probably the fastest guy in the
You
league.
just answered your own question. So you're going to leave this kid out on Revis Island, who's nowhere near Revis
Give him a
Island?
25-yard cushion and just don't let him get near the end zone. That's all.
Let's just say I was laughing.
Even a rookie in the NFL
I was
should be
laughing.
able to
I was
do that.
laughing to myself at the circumstances how the Jets lost. I felt bad for the players. They had the game in hand.
Oh, right, yeah. I'm sure they were real bummed and didn't
Listen,
go out and break COVID.
but we
and, you
played
know.
football. I'm just saying that.
I got it.
You know,
I got
when
it.
you compete and you lose a game like that.
I got it.
But Owen, they're on their way.
0-16, what do you think?
I don't know. I still think they win one.
I'm going to say they ride the whole thing and they go 0-16.
I'm leaning towards 0-16, but I won't be surprised if they win one.
Yeah,
Now listen, I got Sam Darnold at quarterback for Christ's sakes. You know, they got
I just got to play better. You know, the past maybe I should have thrown it a little more to the outside. Standard press
and the other
conference
Jet
line.
news was, you know,
He's a good kid in the
he
interview,
is.
though.
Listen, Sam Darnold's
But if they can get Trevor Lawrence, he's going Packers.
But the other big news was Coach Gase admitted, you know, he hasn't really developed Sam. How ridiculous is this when you even read it?
It's one of the most ludicrous
ridiculous.
comments you could possibly ever make as a head
So
coach.
the good news for Jet fans is Woody should be dispatched from his London post and back to run at Buck Henry from
Buck Henry from Saturday Night Live.
and Get Smart creator with Mel Brooks.
Dead
Right?
ringer.
Dead
We
ringer.
talked about it.
Right. So Woody's going to come back and really, you know,
Yep.
shake things up again. What a joke the Jets are.
But listen, they want to get Trevor Lawrence. I mean,
They're going to get Trevor Lawrence.
that's the only pick. If they don't make that pick, then Jet fans will riot, for God's sakes. Right?
Yes, they will.
So,
Right.
But listen, it's a busy night and busy day in the NFL. So let's see what happens. Those are the mono and mono. And if you guys have some thoughts about, you know, hey, why are you picking this guy? Why are you picking that team? Blah, blah, send us an email at sportswithmonoandmono@gmail.com.
Yeah. And then, excuse me,
Pays to buy the best.
real quick on my Dallas Cowboys. Another really great performance against Baltimore. You know,
Getting embarrassing.
giving up the most yards rushing ever in franchise history to the Ravens, and 3-9. But
Are they tanking?
well, you know, in their defense, they didn't have an off-season program. They have a new coach.
Oh, yeah. So the transition was
They didn't have
little
any
tough.
preseason games. And then, of course, what's the answer? Neither did the 31 other teams.
Exactly.
It's so ridiculous. It's not even funny.
We got it. It is. It's a tough season for Dallas Cowboys, and you got.
I don't even know. I don't even.
Test COVID it, or they tested him, and then he retires or something. I don't know.
But my point. Then I had a conversation with
he's
the
back in
Cowboys.
this league.
I have no idea who the Cowboys are going to draft with the top 5 pick. We're leaning towards there, but so many holes.
What
to
do you
fill.
think, Steve? Is the number one need for the Cowboys?
That's my. I don't know. There's so many needs.
Well, you don't have to worry about quarterback. Your quarterback's going to come back. You know. Dak
Yeah,
Prescott will be
listen.
back,
You know my opinion on Dak. I'm a big Dak guy.
I got it.
I don't know.
All right. NFL.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Stephen, our second segment is sponsored by Lynch Toyota, Manchester, Connecticut. Weekly sponsor of the show. Big fan. We thank them. You need to buy a Toyota, you go see Mike.
That's right.
Mike
I mean,
Lynch.
I
He's
came.
the president of the company.
I came to the show in the Lynch Toyota bullpen car, sponsored by Lynch Toyota,
B210.
with the New York Yankee pinstripe logo.
Wow, that's like 1975.
Totally.
Right? Yeah.
In comes Sparky Lyle in the Celica. I was a big fan of the golf cart though, with the Met hat and stuff.
It did evolve to the.
Love that.
Yeah.
That was so
It did
great.
evolve to the golf cart. Right.
Right. The guy who just drank like 13 beers the night before is hungover.
This came from the Yankee Tavern.
Throws nine pitches in the bullpen. It's 90 degrees. Puts the jacket over his arm and gets a ride to the mound.
Somebody hands him the key.
Sign me up for that any day of the week.
Says, drive Sparky Lyle to the mound.
Dick Tidrow.
Game after game after
Totally.
God, we look at it now. It's like 50 yards. You know,
Oh,
they drove like
he
300
he
yards.
can punt a football.
You can drive around the whole stadium to get there.
Totally. But thank God, so finally an executive upstairs is going,
Yeah.
how much gas are we spending? What the hell are they getting
How
a
much
run?
is the insurance? The tail lights.
Do we need collision?
Get pulled over.
Drive sober or get pulled over?
The guy got a DWI on the way back.
In right field?
Yeah. Listen, real quick, Major League Baseball.
That's how we operate, people.
Unbelievable. But you people remember, James Walsh absolutely would remember the bullpen
What are you kidding?
car. God almighty. Hilarious. So listen, as far as Major League Baseball goes, it was a signing yesterday. James McCann to the Mets.
Yes.
$40 million for 4 years.
That's
10
a good
per.
signing.
I looked at his numbers. This guy hasn't done
He's a good
much.
He's a good
I'm
catcher.
sure he's a good
He is.
catcher. I mean, but
Trust me, Sandy and company, if they wanted McCann, they got him.
they did get him.
And I
Finalizing
know.
the deal now.
I'm just saying, they targeted him and they got him. But Springer's coming to the Mets.
Exactly. That's exactly was my
There's no
my
question.
next point. He's definitely going there. They want him. He wants to be there. Steve Cohen, he's got a blank checkbook. He can just keep going and going and going. So the Mets, and there's some other free agents out there, but nothing major really has happened. Like Lance Lynn getting traded, you know, that's kind of nothing, right? We've seen him for a year in
Hall of Fame bound,
pinstripes.
Hall of Fame bound Lance Lynn.
Yeah.
Yeah, my ass. DJ LeMahieu, good news, or promising news, is
Discussions are happening.
well, Luke Voigt spilled the beans. He's buddies with DJ. DJ loves being a New York Yankee, and we talked about
He
it.
says,
last
just
week.
pay me and I'll sign.
He'll take he
He
should.
won't take less. but,
No,
you know.
here's the thing. If you scan all the sports, right, and everybody knows I'm a DJ guy, right? He's one of my all-time favorites. Right now, currently, favorite athlete. Think about it. all these bums that hold out. I mean, you talk about training
Yep,
camp,
I know.
right? I want more Ezekiel Elliott to what was it, Melvin Gordon or whatever, ridiculous, right?
Sit on the sideline.
But if
We
you
don't
look,
care.
but if you look and scan all four sports, DJ LeMahieu is one of the guys that played better than the contract that he had, and he's in the position where he's one of the few players where he deserves to be paid like DJ LeMahieu.
I agree.
Do you understand my point? I can't think of a lot of guys like that.
And what did DJ LeMahieu do? He played every single day. Had a couple of little bumps and bruises, but didn't take all this time off. These guys in the NFL, they hold out. They're ineffective for half of the season because they're not conditioned, blah, blah, blah. Great point, DJ LeMahieu. We're huge fans of this guy. Please sign him.
And I keep going back to late in the season here. DJ LeMahieu won Player of the Week or whatever. You know, he batted whatever 398 with 10 RBIs and
Exactly, right.
And a reporter asked him a question about it. Hey, how's it feel to be Player of the Week? He's like, he could give a fuck a shit, right? All he's about winning, a team guy. He played at LSU. He's a national champion. I love DJ LeMahieu and Hal Steinbrenner. You better sign that. You know, this is a no. This is a no-brainer.
I think it's going to be a done deal.
It's a done
and
deal.
if he wants to wear the pinstripes,
He does.
Then it's a done deal.
Yeah.
Awesome. But you're right. You know, a lot of the whole overall sports world don't know like we think about DJ LeMahieu because we watch him every single game, right? I mean,
Right.
You come home, get the baseball games on.
But my point again, it goes back to pay the guy. You know,
They'll pay.
You know, Dana Carvey is Ross Perot.
But you're-
Roy, pay the man.
Exactly. And you're saying like a Mike Trout. Is
Mike
Mike Trout
Trout
making ridiculous money? Yes, but is
he
Mike Trout
deserves it.
is he the best
That's
player
another
in the
perfect example. Like a Mike Trout. You know this guy is the best baseball player on the planet.
And is Harper earning $300 million? You know, not at a Mike Trout level, not at DJ LeMahieu level. I see your point.
Okay.
Awesome. But you're right. Springer to the Mets. That's going to happen.
Yeah, that's
too.
a done deal.
They're going to turn that organization over. You
I
were
believe
right.
if you listen to our show, the New York Mets are going to be no joke going forward.
Yeah, you said 2-3 years,
Yeah.
and then the whole place will be different.
I'm going to say they're going to win 2 championships in the next 6 years.
Okay. So listen, like I said, baseball's still months away, but the NBA finally got underway. Aren't we excited?
Absolutely. You kidding me?
Some pre-games last night.
Oh, my
Giannis
God.
took an elbow to the...
I couldn't sleep last night. I was like...
It really is not that exciting.
Nah,
to be
our
quite
boy
honest.
Toppin made his debut for the New
Who
York.
we like, by the way.
Yeah,
We
listen.
both
Again,
like him.
it's pre. Yes, I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I think this kid is actually going. I think will pan out.
But I don't want to spend a lot of time on the NBA, Steve. But
You don't want to break.
bring this
You don't
up.
want to break down the preseason game. What you saw.
I absolutely do not. I trust Tom Thibodeau that he knows what he's doing in the Nets, and Kyrie's not speaking to the press. We know that, but but James Harden and you and I think we're miles apart on this.
Yeah.
You think they're going to kowtow to his thing and send him either packing to the Knicks or the Nets or
Not
wherever
that
he
he's
wants
not going
to
to
go?
the Knicks. He's going to the Nets.
And what I see right now, and I love it, the Rockets are saying you could sit down and we won't pay you $40 million.
Right now. So remember this moment. It's before Christmas.
I'm sticking with it.
Yes. Are they going to make him sit in the doghouse?
I hope so.
Yes.
I hope so.
It's December.
But you're saying it's going to be a done deal.
It's a done deal already.
The Nets are packing up.
I don't care if this
suitcases.
happens in March or whatever. In principle, you think the GM Sean Marks of the Nets is not talking to the it's a done deal.
I don't know.
Yes, I'm going to keep him. They have to make that impression of they're not going to kowtow to him type of thing.
Which is what they're doing.
And then the
That's
press
what I hope.
conference will be, we feel, it'll be a Jerry Jones like, we feel, trading. I'm telling this is going to happen.
I got you.
And if you disagree, send us an email at sportswithmono@gmail.com.
Yep.
I'm serious.
I'm with you.
So they're making Harden in the doghouse. What, Harden's gonna when he takes the floor, he's gonna play defense. I don't think so.
No, he's gonna just.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. I just hope
that's why it's going to happen, because it's going to become so toxic.
Are you saying he's going to the Nets?
Yeah.
Any chance he's going to the Knicks?
No.
I agree with that. That I agree with.
Listen, if Durant, Irving,
it sends a bad message to the league.
Why?
That you can just sit out. You know,
it's the Miami Heat, LeBron, Bosh, and Dwayne Wade thing. That's it. And listen, you need 3 to beat LeBron and Davis.
But There's 2. I'm talking about. It's not even about numbers with Harden. He's making that kind of.
My point is, if you want to beat the Lakers, you need 3 to beat that 2.
Agreed.
And that's what it's about. So, yeah, I think he's going to the Nets. And I don't know when, but I will say it's February, March.
But you and I talked about this NBA. Like, these guys, they're signing these no-name guys to ridiculous. Paul George, max contract.
I'm glad you brought
Paul George.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Worth $45 million a year.
I got to work on whether it was Tuesday or whatever. I do my my routine.
I could give you
and then I get a cup of coffee and I'm like, okay,
contract.
Well, let me go to ESPN.com or something. The first headline, I say, 4 years, $190 million George extension. I'm looking at this. I'm like, oxygen. I need oxygen.
And it's exactly what I was talking about 3 weeks ago.
It's absolutely insane.
Who are these people and where is this money coming from?
Again, in my answer, it's TV streaming. It's TV and it's an international game. If they're paying Paul George 4 years and $190 million, you know how much freaking money is out there?
Yep. So
it's insane, though.
But enjoy the preseason of the
So if
NBA.
I was Paul George's agent, I'd be like, Paul, listen, get an offer.
I'm going to recommend you sign this max
Paul, listen,
contract.
we're not going to get a better deal than this. 4 years, $190. What do you think?
And you won't even be in the league in years 3 and 4, and you'll still get paid. How about that? Where do I sign?
Exactly.
Great agent, right?
Yeah.
Great agent. Gotta love the agents.
It's incredible.
They get the numbers. They get the numbers.
Right. Ari from Entourage.
Yeah. Pretty good show, actually.
Great show. Johnny Drama.
Yep. So listen, real quick on the NHL, and I wanted to bring this up because I think you could speak to it even a little better than I do. Strange story out of Pittsburgh. One of their assistant coaches is being accused of sexually assaulting the wife of the former head coach of Pittsburgh Steelers AHL team, Clark Donatelli, Boston University.
Yes, I know Clark Donatelli.
I'm sure you do.
Clark Donatelli went to BU the same. My classes. So Clark Donatelli was actually a U.S. Olympian.
Yep.
Not only, BU. We're number 17 at BU. New York Rangers draft pick. Clark Donatelli got drafted by the Rangers.
You know what story I'm talking about?
Yeah,
though?
yeah. But he didn't, so I Kevin Bacon, 6 Degrees of Separation. I talked about David Quinn, I know, as well. Played at BU.
I didn't know you knew David Quinn.
Yeah, David Quinn was a freshman in 83, and Quinn was 83 too. David Quinn was from Minnesota. David Quinn was the number 1 draft pick of the Minnesota North Stars. Great defenseman, BU, and he got hurt his sophomore year, and his NHL aspirations went down the tube. Became and here he is, the New York freaking Rangers head coach. But yeah, I saw the story, but I know who Clark Donatelli is.
Yeah, I look at he's your age. You're right. Your class. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I remember the name. I knew you would know it. It was just a strange story.
Yeah,
and,
it happens.
And they're looking at Bill Guerin, who was like the assistant general manager at the time, saying, "Let's bury this."
Bill Guerin's a Boston College guy.
Yep.
At my era too.
But listen, one other item I wanted to bring up. You and I have heard this guy call games in every sport forever. Al Michaels.
I've heard of him.
Was nominated to be the Ford Frick Award for the Broadcasting Hall of Fame. What do you think?
How much did Al pay to have this award bestowed upon him?
Taking Uber this time, Al.
God.
You got Tank, pulled over. I'm like, you make $10 million, $100 million a year, and you're driving around drinking beers. I figure that.
I give out.
But listen, he made the most memorable call.
I was just
sports,
leading to that.
right?
I give Al Michaels complete
Kudos.
free reign for the rest of his life. I'll never forget.
1980.
We all know what the phrase is, but watching it and hearing it for the first time as there's 6, 5, 4, 3,
He nailed
2.
it. He nailed it.
Do you believe in miracles? But his yes, right,
Was genuine.
to me.
Not scripted, genuine, right?
I have chills up and down my spine as of right now. That's it. Right?
40 years
I will
ago.
never. I was 15 years old, and now God, it's one of my all-time favorite moments.
Yeah.
If not,
No,
we
no
talked
doubt.
about the Rangers winning the Stanley Cup. You and I watched that together.
But the guy's called World Series. He's called everything. I think it's a cool thing.
I'm an Al Michaels fan.
Exactly. We're Al Michaels guys.
And he deserves. Listen, you know, he's a money whore like anybody else.
And he's a playboy,
but he
too,
he
you know.
deserves it.
No doubt.
Right.
Playboy, good-looking guy, great voice.
Right. So if I bump into him, I'll be like, "Hey Al, congratulations on the Ford Frick Award."
And he goes, "You know what the Ford Frick Award is? Do you believe in miracles?"
Hey, you see that guy?
Yeah.
He won the Ford Frick Award.
But that's pretty high esteem for broadcasting, you know.
Absolutely. Why isn't it called the Mel Allen Award?
Exactly. Because he was, he showed up too many times, a little too many cocktails at the game, right? But listen, Steve,
The Foster Brooks Award.
I could do my loved him on Match Game, ridiculous.
Dean Martin roast.
Tattletales with
yeah.
Foster Brooks. Like,
Exactly.
How did he even get a date for that?
Foster, here's your $75 appearance fee. Get the hell out of here.
Exactly. Bottle of Johnny Walker Black is right in the back.
Hey, you can't drink that back here.
All right, Steve. So we're going to close our show with our notable passings, and it's kind of a busy week here in the world of
Notable
entertainment,
passings.
sports, social impact, whatever. And I'm going to say the first on our list is test pilot Chuck Yeager.
I heard his name. One of the all-time greatest Americans
Yep.
of significance. A pioneer, sound barrier.
And I want to tell
A
you,
man's man, like a man's man.
and I did see Mr. Chuck Yeager speak at a conference in California about 15 years ago. Knees were buckling.
Wow.
I mean, just you want to look at somebody that's made an impact and just like top-notch guy. Resume ridiculous, unbelievable.
Chuck, I think we're going a little too fast. Slow it down. Chuck!
We're not going fast enough. I want to get around the moon,
I want to go home.
What's the sound barrier? We could break it.
Hey, did you hear that? Boom!
Hey, we're laughing because of
The significance of
greatness
that
of him.
achievement.
You bet.
Outstanding. He is
94 years
He might
old.
as well be like, Neil Armstrong landing on the moon type
John
of guy.
Glenn category. This is kind of
that type of thing.
legend.
And that racist Christopher Columbus. too.
World War II pilot.
That racist Christopher Columbus showing up in 1492.
Right.
No, but R.I.P. Chuck Yeager. I salute you. And
Chuck Yeager, All-American. Right?
totally.
End of story.
And the story. That's a good way to
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Baseball, Dick Allen passed away.
Glad you brought that up.
Yep. Good career.
Outstanding career.
Hall of Fame?
No.
I know he's not.
Just short.
Belongs in the Hall of Fame?
No. Just short.
His average was 295.
I know. Just
A
short.
little higher than I thought.
I saw that as well.
And that's some good years, really good years. But only drove in 100 runs 3 times.
Right. When you visualize Dick Allen, when I heard the news, what's the first thing when you visualized him in your head? What was your first visual of him when you heard the news? To me, it's standing at first base. He always wore a helmet.
He always wore a helmet. At
Not with
first
the
base.
ear flaps. It was,
I know. I remember him with the helmet and playing for
shades
the Phillies.
and shades, right?
Retired with the Oakland A's.
And then I made a joke to one of my friends. I said, you know what? We're big Dirty Harry fans. I said, he kind of reminds me of the guy who punches Scorpio, who pays the. I want $300 worth. I want every penny
I
worth.
want every penny of it.
But he looked like that guy.
Dude, that guy was in like Charlie's Angels and every other.
No, but Dick Allen, R.I.P., outstanding career.
I think he's going to get in the Hall of Fame coming up.
Listen, I don't have a problem with that. Veterans type of thing.
Yep.
But Dick Allen was a great baseball
73.
player. Remember Philly? Yeah.
MVP, 1972.
Right, I remember with the Phillies. And
I think we went to see him at Yankee Stadium.
We did,
one
absolutely.
Year, right?
Absolutely.
Yep. Another guy from the world of sports, Ray Perkins.
Yes.
Right? Great Alabama player.
Yes.
Played in the NFL for the Baltimore Colts.
National champion with Alabama.
Succeeded Bear Bryant as head coach of Alabama.
Right. So, Ray Perkins, George Young, that was his first hire.
Yep.
Right? We know that. He lived in Franklin Lakes. It was like, ooh, did you see Ray Perkins at the dry cleaners?
He bought a bagel yesterday.
Right. Ooh, he bought a bagel. Ooh.
Right.
But anyway, Ray Perkins did the job that he was hired to do.
Well, hey, I'll tell you
Until
what.
he handed the reins to Parcells, and then the announcement: Ray Perkins is leaving to go to Alabama because the Bear was so old, and we knew he was stepping down. Right?
Yep.
Hey, the guy had a great career, and he's 79. I said, wow.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys where I'm like, wow, he's 79.
He was always a young-looking guy.
Yeah, but you know what?
But here's the
I was sorry to hear about.
But here's the two things he did for the Giants. He didn't have a great winning percentage and so forth, but he did bring in Parcells and he did bring in Belichick.
And he stuck with Parcells.
But
George Young stuck. Let's be real. George Young ran the New York Giants.
Perkins brought him in.
He brought him in, but George Young signed off.
And Belichick.
I understand that.
He did, so.
Right. So, R.I.P. Ray Perkins.
79.
Yeah, I know, as I just said. Yeah.
Yep. Fred Akers.
Yeah, it's another good one.
Texas Longhorn coach during the Earl Campbell days.
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up.
Wore the big white hat, perfectly fit, looked like a golfer.
Succeeded Mr. Darrell Royal,
Yeah.
the legendary figure in
Big-time
Texas.
legendary.
I mean, those shoes are big to fill.
You bet.
But Fred Akers was the successor.
And it wasn't a big popular choice for the Texas alumni because he wasn't a Texas guy. He was from Arkansas.
Right.
So.
And he coached Earl Campbell.
But he was like one of
Tyler
those,
Rose.
He was like a Hank Stram, Dapper Dan. He always insisted on wearing a jacket and a tie for interviews.
Impeccably dressed. No doubt. He's like Jay Wright,
Yep.
Villanova head coach. Right?
Very
Not a
well
wrinkle on him.
But we liked Fred Akers.
Fred Akers, yeah.
Remember us, Steve, watching that season with Earl Campbell and Fred Akers was
and Ham and Lamb and Jam Jones.
Right. But we just watched in awe. Earl Campbell was one of the greatest college football seasons by a running back ever.
Number 20.
And he gets no mention in the NFL lore when they talk about top 5, top 6, top 7 guys. And I don't get that. But Fred Akers, 83. Here's another one from and it does tie back to sports. Charlie Pride passed away.
Yeah.
Country music star.
Sure.
Former member of the Negro Leagues.
Right.
And Charlie was 86. And what's so ironic about this? I just watched the Ken Burns special. I don't know if you guys know who Ken Burns is. He did the Civil War, Brooklyn Bridge, American state, parks and so forth. But he also did one on country music, and I just watched it in Charlie Pride. Remember, it's probably the song that I remember most associated with Charlie Pride, Kiss an Angel Good Morning. This guy had 29 number 1 hits.
Wow.
But he played in the Negro Leagues and so forth, and once made a quote. He said, "We were traded for a used automobile."
Yeah.
Something so.
No, but Charlie Pride was absolutely a
classy guy.
Yeah,
very handsome guy.
Yeah, an icon,
and we we didn't appreciate the
86
country
years
music
old.
back then.
Not until we saw Smokey and the Bandit.
Jerry Reed, classic. Should have won an Oscar for
Oh,
that.
absolutely. Hey, Fred.
But Charlie Pride was a class act, and like I said, he broke the barrier in country
Absolutely.
music
Absolutely.
and stuff. And
Yeah.
he was 86.
Yeah, I'm sure Charlie did very well with the ladies.
I bet he did. Kind of a
R.I.P.
Lou Rawls, handsome type guy, you know.
You'll never find.
Look like Sugar Ray Leonard. Anyway, one last guy. Wasn't a great player, but he kind of he fit into Yankees. Phil Linz passed away.
Yeah,
I just saw,
that's an obscure one.
Yeah.
You know,
Pretty short career.
Die-hard Yankee fans know that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But the big incident with him playing his harmonica on the plane and
Totally.
Mickey Mantle egging him on and Yogi went nuts. Yogi was the manager of that team.
Right. Mickey had 9 vodkas at that point. He's
Right.
like, come on, play your harmonica. Okay, Mick.
I like it. Turn it up.
And then, you can imagine Mantle sitting there seeing
Oh my God.
Yogi
Egging him on.
smoke coming out of his ears, and
That's
they're
what Kenny
laughing.
Backer used to do to me in religion class. Egg him on.
Just sitting there laughing.
Right? But listen, before we sign off, I just wanted to bring up one other thing. Entertainment. I watched this thing on HBO on the Bee Gees. And this was one awesome special.
This thing was
Behind the
BG.
scenes. It was cool. Watch it. Culture changes. And the reason I'm bringing it up, because Steve and I were talking about it, was that night of Burn the Disco albums. That was a Bill Veeck promotional thing, right?
At Comiskey Park.
Right.
In Chicago.
Right. And it turned into literally a
Well,
riot.
I think the bad news about or the planning on that was I think they did it in between a doubleheader.
Yeah. It was. Game 2 was canceled.
Right, because
Stadium was trash.
that's bad event planning.
But anyway, that was from the world of entertainment, and it ties back to sports. It was notable, and it was a crazy
absolutely.
night.
Yeah.
Yeah. But listen, everybody, thanks for joining us. We would love to hear you. Like I said, great to have Tony back and James Walsh sending us his feedback, and we look forward to talking to you guys next week.
Right. Can't thank you enough. It's a beautiful day, like we started the show, and football will kick off in a couple hours. And enjoy your Sunday. And
I'm looking forward to next week's show already, Steve.
certainly,
Totally.
absolutely.
You guys have a good weekend, and we'll catch up to you. Enjoy the week. Stay safe and healthy.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.